So our first video, I haven't even left my place. It is literally nearly 5 hours since since I wanted to leave. I have packed and repacked and packed and repacked my bike. I am so full of doubt and so nervous and so everything. I keep needing to shit out of stress, but it's a whole part of the process, I guess. I am so freaked out about leaving this space for 3 weeks, but at least I get to be out camping and not have to worry about going to hotels and stuff. So we're off. Very nice here, I have to say, where I stayed. Although lots of Bambis in the night. Things walking on the grass making this noise with paranoia. Then squirrels in the morning talking. So I think I woke up more than 20, 30 times. Body is pretty sore. But yeah, let's go. Just made my camp. I got a bit lost today and did an extra 20, 30 Ks. So it's like 30, 140 Ks for the day. My back and my knees, I really sore, but it's really interesting what happens inside my head when I hit these pain walls. Really hoping I sleep well. Yeah, haven't heard any deer here, so maybe I'm close enough to a town. But because I'm closer to the town, maybe I'm more paranoid. Whatever. Always was dreading day 3, but it's gonna be good. The weather is threatening, exactly like it always does. But I have my amazing glasses on that make everything. Oh, fuck. I was talking to myself all night in my sleep. I feel very, yeah. Rain? Shit. That's okay, I'm not made of sugar. Just taking some shelter from the rain. And last night I went to crack an egg. And I just was sitting there and I couldn't get up and I didn't have anything hard to crack on. I thought I'll just crack it on my knee. And boy, I was, yes, I had vegan, but there was an old lady selling eggs on the side of the road. Like perfect, happy chickens. Could see them. That kind of situation I got no problem with. But I cracked the egg on my knee and it was like hitting my knee with a fucking hammer. So, very healthy chickens. It is just getting worse and worse. Like every time I pedal, it's like fucking painful. So it's like every second opening up a whole new doorway. And the normal aches and pains I was prepared for, but this is fucking eggs getting their revenge. Pain, fun. The pain in my knee. It's too much. It's too much. It's gonna stop in a town back there, but I thought if I stop, I'm just gonna start crying. I really don't know how I'm gonna do it at 4 hours. Whatever. I'm gonna have lunch. It's really fucking painful. This really fucking sucks. Third day. Always knew it was gonna suck. It sucks a lot. At least this is kind of nice. More forest, woods, under the trees. Yesterday was fucked. There was a stage where I really collapsed at the end, going up this hill, and I just had to start feeding food into myself in between trying to catch my breath. Last night was an exercise in paranoia. This is pig country. I slept in pig country here, and some dudes went riding by on mountain bikes like just before dark, which just instigated my paranoia. And every fucking noise I heard, I was up with the flashlight, like looking. And generally, I'm pretty good with keeping track of my paranoia, but when you're half asleep, it's impossible. You can't. You're instantly in paranoia mode before you can catch yourself. So it's like half asleep, some fucking random pig noise in the bush, up, flashlight, what's that, what's going on, what's there? And then, oh fuck, it's just paranoia, it's nothing, it's just a pig, or it's just a... Onwards, upwards. It's nice here though. I went swimming in this lake yesterday, and it was like I approached it like it was such a mission to get to, and battling through the weeds and the bush. Looked at the water and it was so super clean. I was like, wow, maybe I can even drink this water. And then I went swimming in it, and just the disturbance of me going into it created all this algae or sludge or slime or whatever. I don't know. I came out and I was covered like head to toe in this weird, I don't know what, slime, prehistoric slime. It's still on me. Something tells me I don't smell particularly good today. Should be interesting. But I've only got like 40-50 Ks to do today, and then I'm at a friend's place overnight to wash. You come out of the forest and you're hop into a town, and it's Sunday. This is what happens every Sunday in Germany, small towns everywhere. Very slowly marching. Very slowly. Really going off now. Helped my friends move into their place in the lovely town of Wismar, but feels like I've stopped for days. My knee's still stuffed, but the rest of my body's feeling pretty good. What's funny is nerves. Completely nervous, gotta do stress toilet stops, trying to get out of the door, repacking, packing, unpacking, repacking, making decisions. It's almost impossible. Procrastinating, completely anxious, completely like doubting everything. Weird. I don't like, yeah. What was interesting is that I arrived here before they got here with the moving stuff, and there was nothing really here. It was just a camping chair and whatever. So there's space yet, and I felt amazingly comfortable. Read into that, whatever there is, I don't know, but it was interesting observation. Right, I've got to go. After doing a ridiculous amount of excessive detouring and retarded decisions and pushing myself too hard, I make it to Denmark by 9 o'clock at night. I have to continue riding through the night to find a camping place. Pitch blackness. I tried to record myself while riding, which is completely unusable audio. And then I left that camping area and rode on for another hour or two before making this next recording. Denmark. Pretty nice here, I have to say. I'm on the east coast. Mental stability is questionable, but also manageable. I'm about to wash yesterday away by going to this, what I can only assume is freezing water. Yesterday, one knee, the egg hammer knee, was killing me, and then the other knee started hurting, and I just had to keep pushing through, and it just got more and more and more. And as I got into Rostock, which I don't know who designed this place, but it's cray. I had to push and push and push, and I kept getting lost, and turned around and I hadn't eaten in a long time and I was running out of water and everything just started going wrong. Then realized that I had to ride all the way around the whole outside of the city to get back to where the ship goes from. And this was like adding another 2 hours of riding onto what was already 8 hours of riding, and the pain level that I was at, and there was no choice. And any sane person would have stopped, but you're not sane. So you have to push through. Now look, I'm in fucking Denmark. And then I just stopped recording. I don't know why. But the next day, I ride along the coast north in the constant wind. Did roughly about 120 Ks for the day. I rescue some stranded German girls with flat tires and no pumps. Go nice swimming and do some free camping. The day after that, I do 100 Ks and take a completely wrong turn and end up in Roskilde instead of Copenhagen, which is only completely over the country onto the west coast. And I free camp there and check out the place, and then the next day have a very cruisy ride back to the east coast. Do about 70 Ks in all, riding through Copenhagen, and then discover this deer park in the north. Find the camping place, and then the next day we pick it up again.
Recorded anything in a while. I think my pain level was a bit too much, and I haven't had a good night's sleep in a while. And readjusting everything on my bike, try and find a better position. But in the end, I just pedaled more instead of harder. So lighter gears, breakfast and coffee, and then decide. Check my body for ticks. Pulled 6 ticks of me out of me so far. And, oh, this is what I do for holiday, huh? What are you doing? You can't touch me. In the cocoon. Maybe I just go to the beach today.
Oh yeah. Very nice. Very nice. And then again, I just don't record anything. Yeah, there's personal reasons why, and I'm sure I'll get into that, but here's just some quick photos of what I saw there. And we're back. I don't even want to be on video right now, to be honest. I did have another reason to go to Copenhagen. Everyone in their life has their worst lie. The one lie that's worse than any other lie. And the person that I told that lie to 11, 12 years ago lives in Copenhagen. And we met up and it was really nice. There was never the plan of coming to Copenhagen to meet this person and be honest about that lie. But at the same time, looking back, yes, it was. I did it very naturally, like it wasn't forced at all. It came out at the right time and said she understood and forgave me straight away, and we continued on, and that was all fine. And had plans to see each other again, and over the night, just barrage of text messages. And that just messed with my head, and was very interesting realizing the shift, seeing how that shift changed my perception of everything, and how I ended up doing the same tour as I did the day before of the city, and be at all the same places and see all the same things, and everything that I found to be amazing, I was now able to see the other side of it, and how Copenhagen is built on yeah, it's a fantasy, man. It's a great fantasy, and it's better society and culture than many others. And I stayed for as long as I could to try and make myself available to this person, to yell at me, to scream at me, to slap me, to whatever. They will communicate with me and then stop. And that seems to be, as far as I'm concerned, just the greatest fuck you there is in this day and age of communication. Especially when the other person is giving everything possible, offering everything possible. I just had to get back on the bike and start riding, but my knee's blowing out. Got a new knee brace, but it's not really helping. I'm even getting to the point where I'm uncontrollably screaming out with pain every now and then. But it feels good to be out. Had a very nice camp spot here by the water. I mean, you know, paradise. But yeah, I just thought I'd touch base, and I don't know what will come of this. And I'm very proud of myself for the way that I conducted myself, and for the fact that I did come honest about this. And but at the same time, I don't feel good about it. No good deed goes unpunished, and all that. My life, so it's my responsibility to take the blame and the fallout and the repercussions of that. Yeah. Anyway, let's hop on the bike. Again, super paranoid sleep. Yeah, it just messes with your shit. Although it's really nice being out here in everything but what we call nothing. Gotta hop back on the bike and do another 4 hours of power. I can't wear my knee brace anymore because I've worn through where it pinches in the back of my knee, has worn through the skin to an open wound. Pedal, 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 half as much speed. I'm sure there'll be some meaning for it at the end of this that I'll find. Tomorrow, should make it to Hamburg in the afternoon. Going to be staying with a workmate's brother, and I'm not looking forward to being back in the city, to be honest. Yeah, the stuff with Copenhagen and everything there is still chasing me in my dreams. Still processing. This is my most hated and favorite part of the day. Hate it because it's so hard, but I love it because then it's over and I feel like I really accomplished something. Should make it to Hamburg today. Will make it to Hamburg today. Had a really good sleep last night. Only woke up, I don't know, less than 10 times. Best sleep yet. Yeah, yesterday was a funny day. Powering through. Just everything hurts. That's normal, I guess. Pushing to these pain barriers and trying to maintain there because I'm trying to optimize distance and effort and everything. It's like running a multi-layered program or something. It's so much going on at the same time, and all of it affects my mental state. I really do start to understand how you can kind of go from like one, not hallucination, but one false reality to another false reality to another false reality and not learn along the way, you know? That there's some correlation between the amount of effort being involved here, the amount of fatigue, the limits that I'm reaching of processing, mental power, bandwidth, pain, endurance. It's really quite interesting. What's most interesting actually is the in between, the half sleep, the before sleep, or when I'm just sleeping. Sometimes I'm really hallucinating. Like I'm really like my eyes are closed, but I'm seeing everything and I'm hallucinating torches and people, and then I open my eyes and nothing is there. And it's not dreaming yet, and it's not this half sleep. It's this, yeah. Before the half sleep is this funny delusional space. I don't know if this is unique to schizophrenics or if this is transferable to other people, but it's very interesting. Very interesting. I am over cities. That's official. Every time I come back into a city, I am just over it. They're not functioning. They're not sustainable. They're not even. Uh, the, I just doesn't make sense to me anymore. I mean, when you come into a city and all you're trying to do is find your own personal space, it puts you in this scarcity mentality of somehow competition, somehow uh, you're constantly being invaded by your sensory perception and everything, and you just want to sedate yourself. Like as soon as I'm into a city again, I really want to consume. You know, I really notice it. Like I don't stay still clean and sober, but my consumption of sweets and uh, dairy and pastry and ice cream is really hard to fight. It's one of the things that I always cower on first. That's a sign of something not right. When as soon as you enter a place, all you want to do is find a quietest corner you can. Oh, France, you fucking crazy cunt. It's not always sunshine and success. I've left Hamburg today. The stress of the city came out in the form of me giving into my sugar and dairy cravings, hardcore stomach cramps. Yeah, won't go into details. Yeah, basically I was bedridden for a day, and then the next day I forced myself out and went to Miniature Wonderland, which if you ever want to test your mental stability in crowds, go and uh, test it out. Yeah, but now that I'm out of the city, I'm feeling better, and it's going to be very interesting when I get back to Berlin to figure out how this city feels, because a lot of people have said like Hamburg's much more chill than Berlin, and I just felt it really overwhelming. It's really centralized around cars and industry. Um, I found it very intense, so that's going to be interesting. But I've got like 6 days before that happens. My back is spasming. My ankles are burning. My ass is not enjoying the bike seat at all. The whole lying in bed, well, going from bed to toilet. My back was all tight, and my legs are all tight, and my hips and buttocks area and everything was just like in spasm, and my intestines were dry reaching. This, check that out. Oh yes, no, yes, no, yes. Uh, uh, I've got to keep going for another hour or so while I start looking for a campsite. I think rats play a funny little game of let's see how close we can get to the thing that we don't know what it is until it like wakes up, which is fine, I understand that, but they like to get close to my head. I'm just gonna take it easy. Got 2 days really to do 100 k's, so pretty cruisy. It's quite a nice forest here. Funny thing is, there's a highway over there. There's a main road here, and I'm actually in between two towns, like 1 kilometer that way and 2 kilometers that way. But it's like this. I mean, you can hear cars, but Really, there's very few places in Germany where you can't hear cars. In my experience, autobahns are pretty cool, but they're pretty loud. It feels really nice to be out of the city, I gotta say. It's really noisy in nature in here, but it's much more relaxing. There's really nice trees here, actually. Living ones. It's nice to actually look up. Oh, I really like that. Doing my exercises this morning, and I kept getting distracted by the treetops. I still think quite a lot about Copenhagen. Yeah, it's funny, you kind of give up one. Trauma's too strong a word, but you give up one thing for another thing. I kept reliving those lies over and over and over and over again of telling the lie, and now I keep reliving telling the truth and trying to change the way that I tell it to make it somehow easier to hear. But yeah, what are you gonna do? Anyway, time for me to hit the road. This is the pack horse. It's a weird machine. Frame is way too big for me. The crank is way too long for me, which is probably what's giving me problem with my knees. Susie's along for the ride. Hey, always there for me. Has been for 5 years now. Bike's name is Brody. It's a non-binary hermaphrodite. Can't quite figure out what its purpose is. Well, classic France adventure times. It's been a while actually since I made a video. Ended up in Lenzen. Went through a pine desert. Stayed at a mate's parents' place. He came to visit. We went canoeing. Nice little day trip on the lake. Then left at about 3 in the afternoon. About 3 hours too late. Riding. Got disorientated, looking for somewhere to camp. Ended up in another pine desert, and I just can't sleep. It's just no. So I ended up riding into the night and till, I don't know, 11 midnight, and then crashed in some small trees, which ended up being like just on the outside of this small farming town, right beside the road. Stupid, but yeah, fatigued, everything. Broken sleep, only 4 or 5 hours, and went through a area where there was like this festival market, and now I've looked at the maps and I've completely misjudged my trip. So I have to reschedule. I'm gone off path now and cutting a zigzag line back to Berlin. But it's about 90 k's a day, which is fine, but at the same time it's not fine. Now I'll give you a chance to stop watching now because too much information is about to come out of my mouth. my diet and everything went to shit, which activated my irritable bowel syndrome, which means I went to the toilet a lot. Now I've popped out a hemorrhoid. And if there's one thing you don't want when riding a bicycle, it's a fucking hemorrhoid. So for any younger people watching, don't ever force going to the toilet. Don't overstrain when lifting. It'll literally come back and bite you in the ass. And anyone that has irritable bowel syndrome, you're just gonna get hemorrhoids. It's just part of the fun game. So that's kind of bringing me down. So at the end of the trip is really turning out to be more of a disorganized, retarded thing than I think that's got a lot to do with up here and not focusing on the task at hand and trying to prepare myself to get back. And anyway, the joys of getting old. I gotta go back on this fucking bike seat. Oh, friends. Oh, buddy. Come on, mate. It's funny the shift that a simple change can make. The whole thing with my medical situation at the moment and pain from every single joint and back and neck and shoulders and knees and ankles and toes and my ass. Having the outlook of like, okay, got to do at least 120 Ks each day to make it by the afternoon back home was just too much. Even though I've been doing that every day, but just this particular now, it's like too much. I want to come back relaxed. I don't want to come back to it some weird deadline and pushing shit uphill. And now I've got about 80 or 90 Ks per day for today and tomorrow. Back on track again. That was a nice 2 hours of power. Nice. I'm just making my camp. Very nice. Last night, out in the wilderness, didn't make it quite as far because for some reason I decided to ride up a fucking mountain. After 10 hours of riding, I spend another hour and a half riding up a mountain. Had a nice house seat, viewpoint. So quickly got off the track and just set up camp. So, camping on a mountain. What a day, a bit of everything. Just had to like power mission stop because I couldn't do the non-stop hours on the bike with my current medical situation. It's really interesting though, coming to an end. Fasting day tomorrow, Sunday. Fasting, riding around 100 Ks I guess now, maybe even a bit over if I go around. It all depends. I mean, I could cut 30 Ks off and ride through the city, but I really don't want to. That'd be really shit. Because, yeah, I'm all the way to the west and I live on the east, so obviously cutting through would be quicker, but I don't want to cut through the city. Woke up quite a few times through the night And I just had panic. Just panic and just drenched in sweat. Swearing. Fuck you, fuck this shit, fuck this, all this. Could hear my voice echoing in the forest. No idea what that was about. But it's nice. Nice sunny day. Feels good to be going home. It's not gonna be my home for long, but I'm really looking forward to sleeping in my own bed. The luxuries of life. Back home. Literally just came to the door. There's the bike. The place is clean. It's louder than I remember here, but it feels nice. I'm gonna sit on the couch. It's smaller than I remember, which is interesting. Riding through the city was stressful and hard. And it was funny, the closer I got to home, the harder and harder, tighter and tighter it all just gets. But if I was gonna sum up the whole thing right now, worthwhile. 100%. I'd do it all again. Very differently, but I would definitely do it all again. Yeah. I need a shower. Oh, I still got 3 hours until I can eat. That's gonna be the hardest, I think. That'll be the hardest. Looking good. Looking good.